After 8 years together, I went from a tough guy who could open beer bottles one-handed, a wreck who can barely hold chopsticks. Everyone at work thinks I have a terminal illness. Actually, turns out, what I had was a girlfriend. The day I learned the man she never got over from college had returned from abroad, I hid in the restroom and cried for a full 10 minutes. A coworker kicked open the door. "Buddy, are you okay?" Wiping away my tears, I smiled. "I'm fine. I finally get to be free." My coworker looked puzzled. "So, you're happy even though she's cheating on you?" "My name is Fang. I am 28 this year. But if you saw me on the street, you would probably think I was in my 40s or 50s. I wouldn't blame you. Even I am startled when I look in the mirror. My eye sockets are sunken, my cheekbones jut out, and my weight has fallen from 198 pounds at my peak to 123 pounds. I practically float when I walk. A strong gust could blow me away. That is not an exaggeration. There was a typhoon last month. As I walked from work to the subway station, the wind shoved me sideways 10 feet. An older man beside me grabbed the back of my collar. "Kid, didn't you eat?" I gave a faint smile. "I did, but it doesn't help. The rate at which I burn energy far exceeds what I can take in." Want to know why? Of course, it is because I have a girlfriend. Her name is Shen. She is gorgeous, 5'8", with long legs and a slim waist. She has an icy presence. She is the center of attention wherever she goes. The men chasing her could line up from my home to the edge of the city, but no one knows. Her body is far from ordinary. How should I put it? Ordinary people need 8 hours of sleep a day, right? She doesn't. She only needs 2 hours of sleep each day. The rest of the time, she is as energetic as a fully charged Tesla, and I am her charging station. An aging, wobbling charging station that could start smoking at any moment. 8 years. A full 8 years. I thought she would kill me. I am not joking. I really wrote a will. 3 times. In fact, the first time was in our 2nd year together. She came home upset after working late that day. I lay there like a corpse for 3 full days before I could get out of bed. The 2nd time was in our 5th year. We went on a beach vacation. Vacations are supposed to be relaxing, right? I lay in the hotel for 6 days. She toured every attraction by herself. When she returned, she said, "How are you still not recovered?" I did not even have the strength to speak. I could only blink. 1 blink meant yes. 2 blinks meant no. Exactly like communicating with someone in a vegetative state. The 3rd time I wrote a will was just last month. It was pouring that day. She came home soaked by the rain, and her temperature was even higher than usual. A normal body temperature is 98.6 degrees, right? Hers is usually 101.3. After getting caught in the rain, it shot up to 103.6. I did not know what that meant, but my body did. After that, I bought a wheelchair and kept it outside the bedroom. Just in case. Really, just in case. But today, everything changed. The sun is finally shining on me. Here is what happened. At lunch, I casually checked Shen Bai's social media feed. Like always. She had posted, "Welcome back." There was an airport photo attached. I did not think much of it until that afternoon. My best friend, Yang Jian, sent me a message. "Holy shit, did you hear? The man Shen Buyu never got over from college is back from abroad." The moment I read that message, my hand trembled. Not from anger, from excitement. Is that true? It is. Several people posted about it. I heard he has been overseas for almost 10 years. Now he has been transferred back. I put down my phone and took a deep breath. My eyes began to sting. I have waited 8 damn years. 8 years. Over those 8 years, I lost 75 pounds of flesh, lost every trace of my hairline, and permanently damaged my knees. I went to the hospital. The doctor stared at my test results in silence for 5 minutes. Then he finally spoke. "Mr. Fang, the extent of the damage to your body. Honestly, I have only seen this in people over 70. Doctor, can I recover?" He looked at me, words caught in his throat. I will never forget that look. But now, the man she never got over is back. The man she pined for in college. The man who made her eyes light up whenever she mentioned him. He is back. My salvation has arrived. I leaned back at my desk, and tears spilled down my face despite myself. My coworker, Old Wang, leaned over from the next desk. "Fang, are you okay?" I shook my head at him. "I'm fine. Don't force yourself. Should we go to the hospital?" He thought I was sick again. Everyone at the company thinks I have a chronic illness, the kind that requires a fistful of pills every day. In reality, I take 6-flavor Romania pills, Jinkui kidney chi pills, compound E jiao syrup, and all kinds of vitamins. Even the woman who owns the pharmacy knows me. Every time I visit, she looks at me like I am a martyr. "Young man, wanna try our new deer antler tonic?" "No. Thank you. Even the best deer antler cannot restore me. But from today on, I do not need restoring. I am going to be free. I do not plan to make a scene." It has been 8 years. Shen Buyu has truly been good to me. Apart from that one thing, she never argues with me. When I am sick, she takes care of me. Even though she is the reason I get sick, she earns more than I do. She covers nearly all our household expenses. On every holiday, she never fails to give me a gift. Even my parents adore her. Whenever my mother calls, she says. Buyu is so wonderful. You need to treat her well. Mom, you do not know the truth. If you did, you would never say that. You would feel sorry for your son. So I will not make a scene. I will bow out with dignity. I will make one last dinner. Then we can part on good terms. At 5:30 that afternoon, I left work on time. I never work overtime. Not because I do not want to, but because I do not dare. Buyu requires me to be home before 6:30 every evening. 1 minute late, and she calls. Her voice turns cold. Where are you? Those two words might sound harmless to anyone else, but they send a chill down my spine. Because being late means she will make up for all her unused energy that day. Twice over. Once, I was 40 minutes late. I ended up taking 3 days of sick leave. That is why I never work overtime. No exceptions. Today was no different. Even though we were about to break up, until I officially said it, the rules could not be broken. It would be a shame to die right before dawn. On the way home, I called her. Honey, what do you want for dinner? I made my voice as gentle as possible. It was our last meal. She deserved something nice. There were 2 seconds of silence on the line. Then Shen Buyu's icy voice came through. Fish. My whole body jolted. I nearly lost my grip on the steering wheel. Honey, how about something else? Beep beep beep. She hung up. I gripped my phone. My knuckles white. Fish. She said fish. I do not know if you can understand what those words mean to me. The last time she said she wanted fish was 6 months ago. That day, she pulled a sea bass weighing just over 2 pounds from the bathtub. Alive. She had kept it in there for 3 days. Then she made me kill it myself. I want to watch you kill the fish. As she said it, her eyes gleamed unnaturally bright. I knew something was off, but I killed it anyway. Afterward, I do not want to remember the details. I only remember spending the entire next day in bed. Not one part of my body was not aching. Meanwhile, she emerged from the shower glowing with energy, put on her heels, and went to work, leaving me alone, crying at the ceiling. So, when she says fish now, I am scared, truly scared. But then I thought, it is the last time. Let it be the end of our 8 years together. Worst case, after we break up, I will spend a week in the hospital. At least I will never have to go through it again. I took a deep breath, then drove into the parking lot beside the market to buy fish. The woman who ran the fish stall was named Jo. I was one of her regulars. Every time I came for fish, she looked at me with complicated eyes. Today was no exception. Young man, back again? Yeah. I will take a sea bass. She picked out a 1.7-pound fish and handed it to me. Want it cleaned? Please. Her knife came down in a flash, and she expertly cleaned the fish. As she handed it over, she suddenly lowered her voice. Young man, looking at your complexion, let me give you a folk remedy. Miss Jo, no need. Hear me out. Astragalus, goji berries, and deer penis. Steep it in water. You will see results in 3 months. Really, Miss Jo? No, you should not be like this at your age. I gave her a smile and left with the fish. It is not that I do not want to replenish my health. I simply cannot replenish it fast enough. No matter what I put into my body, she can drain every last bit of it. Over these 8 years, the supplements I have taken could fill a room. From goji berries that cost a few dollars to cordyceps worth hundreds of dollars. Useless. All of it was useless. While driving home, I sent Yangjian a voice message. Bro, are you certain about the old crush? Absolutely. What was that guy's name again? Shenyi, right? Shen Buyu's college classmate. I heard he chased her for 2 years, failed, then went abroad. Now he is back. Good. What do you mean, good? You are not worried. Your girlfriend's old crush is back, and you say good. It was not convenient to explain it to him. I just looked at my phone and smiled from the bottom of my heart. Shenyi, thank you. Thank you for coming back to take her off my hands. I would even get on my knees and bow to you. I got home at 5:58, right on schedule. Shen Buyu was not home yet. I put the fish in the kitchen and began prepping dinner. Steamed sea bass was her favorite. As I sliced ginger, I looked at my hands. Their bones stood out sharply, not in an attractive way. They were just so thin that only bone remained. 8 years ago, when I began dating Shen Buyu, I practically lived at the gym. I could bench press 120 pounds and deadlift 330. Now, I cannot even lift an 11-pound dumbbell. It is not muscle loss. I have been completely drained. My trainer still cannot understand how I ended up like this. Fang's have some kind of wasting disease. Why not get checked out? So I got a full medical workup. The doctor said every one of my readings showed poor health. There was no specific illness. Every part of my body was simply running beyond capacity, like a taxi with 300,000 miles on it. No major issue, but the whole thing was nearly falling apart. Then the doctor finally asked, Mr. Fang, do you usually exercise excessively? You could say that. I recommend reducing how often you exercise. 3 or 4 times a week would be best. I do it 3 or 4 times a damn day, sometimes more. Not because I want to, because she does. And her body is nothing like a normal person's. She recovers her stamina 10 times faster than anyone else. I am still gasping for air, while she is already full of energy again. Then she looks at me with those ice-cold eyes. That is it. Those 2 words were humiliating beyond belief. They hurt worse than any verbal abuse. Countless times, I wanted to say I could not go on, but every time, I swallowed the words. My pride would not let me say them. So I forced myself through 8 years, until I ended up this wreck of a man. The fish was ready, and I stir-fried some more dishes. Then I made soup. At 6:35, Buyu came home. She wore a white business suit. Her hair was pinned back, her face expressionless, cold as ice, but beautiful. 8 years later, she had not changed at all. No. She had become even more beautiful. Her skin was fair and luminous. She radiated vibrant vitality. Compared to me, I looked like her father. No, even her father looked younger than me. I took off my apron. You are back? Wash up and eat. She gave a quiet changed into slippers, and came inside. As she passed by me, I caught her faint fragrance. 8 years ago, that scent made my heart race. 8 years later, it made my knees go weak. During dinner, I kept rehearsing what to say. How should I put it? Buyu, your old crush is back, so I will step aside. Too direct. Buyu, I do not think we are right for each other. After 8 years, would that sound a little fake? Buyu, my body truly cannot take this anymore. Let us break up. That reason should make sense. But what if she thought I was making excuses? Would she get even angrier? I did not dare imagine the consequences of her anger. As I was thinking, Buyu spoke. The fish is good. Huh. Oh, thanks. She ate fish elegantly. Her chopsticks picked out each piece of flesh precisely, without a single bone. Watching her eat, I suddenly felt sentimental. Honestly, if she were normal, I might really have spent my life with her. She truly was good to me. Aside from the physical torment, she was the perfect girlfriend in every other way. She remembered every anniversary. When I was sick, she brought water and medicine, and she never checked my phone. She handed over her paycheck, yet was generous with my spending money. For my mother's birthday, she put in more effort than I did. One winter, I had a fever of 102 degrees. For once, she did not come looking for me. It was the happiest night we had ever had together. I slept for a full 12 hours. When I woke up, I nearly cried. That is why I wanted us to part on good terms. I could not be ungrateful to her. Buyu, there is something I want to tell you. She set down her chopsticks and looked at me. Her eyes were beautiful. When we first met, those eyes were what drew me in. Now, those eyes watched me without expression. I opened my mouth. The words were right there. Then my phone suddenly rang. I checked it. It was my mom. Hold on a second. I answered. Fang's you. Are you and Buyu doing okay? We are fine. Good. I just wanted to ask. When are you two getting married? I am waiting to hold my grandson. I was silent for 3 seconds. Mom, we will see. What do you mean, we will see? You are already 28. Buyu is such a wonderful girl. Do not let her get away. Mom, you do not understand. She is not the one running. I am. When I hung up, Buyu had already finished eating. She stood and dabbed the corner of her mouth with a napkin. What were you going to say? That classmate of yours, did he come back from abroad? Her expression did not change at all. How do you know? A friend told me. Yeah, he is back. She said it casually, but I noticed. Her eyes brightened for a moment. Of course, the man she never got over was different. She was ice cold when talking about anyone else. But when she mentioned the man she never got over, her eyes lit up. Instead, I felt relieved. See, her heart belonged to someone else. I could leave with a clear conscience. Congratulations. Buyu glanced at me. There was something strange in her gaze. I could not put my finger on it. Congratulations for what? Congratulations on your friend coming back. She said nothing else and went to the bathroom. Listening to the water running in the bathroom, I decided to let it go today. Tomorrow, I would find the right moment and officially break up with her. Tonight would be our last night. I hoped she would let me go. An hour later, my hopes were crushed. I lay sprawled on the bed, staring at the ceiling. My whole body felt like a truck had run me over, then backed up over me. Buyu lay beside me, looking at her phone. There was even a faint smile on her face. She was in a better mood than usual, which was why she had been even more merciless than usual. I wiggled my fingers. They still moved. I wiggled my toes. They moved too. At least I was not paralyzed. I was lucky today. I closed my eyes and repeated silently. This is the last time. Fang's you. You will be free soon. Tomorrow, I will say it. I definitely will. The next day, I did not say it because I could not get out of bed. My entire body ached. My lower back felt like someone had hammered it all night. Buyu went to work early that morning. Before leaving, she left a glass of warm water by my bed, along with 2 calcium tablets. Thoughtful, right? So thoughtful. Break my legs, then casually hand me a crutch. I stayed in bed until noon, then shuffled into the kitchen using the wall for support. The porridge had just been reheated. I sent Yang Jian a message. Find out where Shenyi lives for me, and when I can meet him. Why are you looking for him? To thank him. Yang Jian sent back a string of question marks. Then he sent a 60-second voice message. It boiled down to one sentence. Fang's you. Are you insane? Of course he did not understand. To everyone else, Shenyi was a romantic rival. To me, he was my savior. This old car of mine had run for 8 years, with its parts nearly falling apart. At last, someone was here to take over. That afternoon, the doorbell rang. My mom stood at the door carrying 2 huge bags of health supplements. She looked me over from head to toe. Her eyes immediately reddened. Fang's you. How have you gotten even thinner? No, I have not. I look the same as always. Like hell you do. Is there even any flesh left on your arms? As she scolded me, she laid sea cucumber, ginseng, and nutritional powder on the coffee table. Finally, she pulled out a black box. When I saw the words on it, I quickly stopped her hand. Mom, I really do not need that. Aunt Wang said this is good for your health. I have no use for it. My mom stared at me for 2 seconds. Her tears fell even harder. If you really have some illness, do not hide it from your father and me. Your father suspects you have a serious disease too. Neither of us has slept well these past few days. I looked down at my arm. My sleeve hung empty round it. Only a layer of skin covered the bones of my wrist. I quickly helped her to the sofa. I am not sick. Work has just been exhausting lately. Then quit. Buyu earns plenty. Can she not support you? I opened my mouth, but did not dare say a word. Work was not what was exhausting me. If I so much as told her the truth, my mom would report Shen Buyu missing before dawn. She only knew that Shen Buyu never fought with me, and always bought gifts for my family on holidays. After finally persuading her to leave, I leaned by the elevator and recovered for a long while. I could not put this off any longer. If I kept delaying, the next thing my mom brought me would not be supplements. It would be my burial clothes. A little after 7 that night, the lock finally clicked. For once, Shen Buyu had come home late. Why are you so late today? I met someone. My hand clenched around the dining table. Who? An old friend. I nearly could not stop myself from smiling. You had not seen him in a long time, right? 8 years. 8 years. Exactly as long as we had been together. Could it be any more obvious? Shenyi went abroad, so she settled for me instead. Now the real one was back, and it was time for this stand-in to step aside. Buyu, is there anything you want to tell me today? She changed into her slippers, then looked up at me. No, you have already seen him. Why have you not brought up breaking up? Have you eaten? I cooked. It is warm in the pot. Shen Buyu nodded. She went straight into the dining room. 8 years together. Maybe she found it hard to say. It was fine. I would give her time. That night, for once, she only put me through it once. Afterward, I could actually get out of bed and brush my teeth on my own. I held onto the sink, staring at my gaunt face in the mirror. I was nearly moved to tears. The one she never got over really was different. After seeing him once, even I got to benefit from it. One day, 2 days, 5 days. Shen Buyu still did not mention it. She came home earlier each day, yet seemed more energetic than ever. Meals went on as usual. Work went on as usual. And at night, that went on as usual too. Before I could hear her say we were breaking up, my body gave out first. My left eyelid twitched for 3 straight days. At night, my calves would suddenly cramp in my sleep. When I crouched down and stood again, my vision would go black. At noon on the 6th day, I asked Yang Jian to meet me at a hot pot restaurant. The moment he saw me, his chopsticks froze midair. Brother Fang, is there any flesh left on your face? Forget the flesh. What did you find out about Shenyi? 31 years old. He has a doctorate in medicine. He was doing research overseas. Yuanshan Research Institute recruited him back last week. I could not find his exact address. Do you really want to see him? I can arrange a get-together through some people. No need. I placed my phone face down on the table and lowered my voice. Yang Jian, I am breaking up with Shen Buyu. The tripe slipped from his chopsticks back into the pot. Are you crazy? You are dumping a girlfriend that beautiful? It is not that I do not want her. I just cannot take it anymore. If work is too stressful, change jobs. What does that have to do with breaking up? I looked around, then leaned close and told him the truth I had buried for 8 years. Holy shit. Keep your voice down. Really? That many times a day. I said nothing. He looked at me, then at the fatty beef rolling in the boiling pot. 8 years? I nodded. Do you ever get a break during the month? Only for those few days when she is indisposed. Yang Jian's chopsticks went completely still. He immediately put all the meat into my bowl. Brother Fang, eat more. His hands were shaking. Now, do you understand? Shen Buyu's one that got away was back in the country. I could not be happier. Yang Jian was silent for a long while. Then he patted my shoulder, so gently as if afraid I might fall apart. Brother, why did you not tell me sooner? How could I tell anyone something like that? My girlfriend has too much energy, and she is wearing me to death. Who would feel sorry for me if I said that? Everyone would think I was bragging. Yang Jian was completely speechless. After a while, he finally asked quietly, "Are you sure Gu Shenyi is the one she never got over?" Of course. Otherwise, whenever she mentioned him, why would she smile? Then why has she not broken up with you? That is what I want to know too. Yang Jian put down his chopsticks. Then bring it up yourself. I bring it up. What if she thinks it would make her lose face? Yang Jian looked at me, looking like a gust of wind could blow me away, and swallowed the rest of his words. You are practically dying, and you still care about her pride. It is because I am practically dying that I cannot make her angry at the last minute. Yang Jian lifted his glass, drank half of it, and did not try to persuade me further. I did not want to wait any longer either. If she would not say it, I would create an opportunity for them. I would let her see how wonderful the one she never got over was. So, she would let me go on her own. Gu Shenyi, you had better be the real deal. My life depends entirely on you now. After waiting another 2 days, Shen Buyu still made no move. I decided to take action myself. The problem was, I did not know Gu Shenyi at all. Yang Jian could not find his contact information either. After exhausting every option, only one remained. Shen Buyu's phone. I had never gone through her things. First, I had no interest in doing so. Second, I was afraid she would catch me, but I was nearly dead now. Who cared about principles? At 11 that night, Shen Buyu leaned against the headboard with her eyes closed, resting. She only truly slept 2 hours a day. Sometimes, she would doze for 20 minutes around this time. I waited until her breathing slowed, then slowly reached for the phone on the bedside table. It unlocked with a fingerprint. I had just lifted her thumb when she suddenly turned over. I froze beside the bed, not even daring to breathe. 5 seconds later, Shen Buyu had not woken up. I wiped my forehead, then quickly opened Gu Shenyi's contact. His contact name was just one character, Joe. His profile picture was a photo of a laboratory. I opened their chat history. The most recent messages were from that afternoon. Are you free this weekend? Yes. What is it? I want you to meet someone. Is it him? Yes. I read the words, is it him? On the screen twice. Gu Shenyi knew I existed. Shen Buyu had told him about me long ago. Shen Buyu was bringing Gu Shenyi to meet me. What was this? The new love meeting the old? Or a handover before he took my place? I kept scrolling to 1 week earlier. Gu Shenyi had asked her, how is it going? It is all right. About the same. But it has been a little unstable lately. How unstable? I have even more energy than before. That is not good. Be careful to keep it under control. I am controlling it. My hands stopped. Controlling what? Controlling her energy. Or controlling how much she drained from me. This was her keeping it under control. I stared at the words. Controlling it. A cold sweat slowly spread across my back. These past few days, I did not even dare crouch too quickly. Yet she had told Gu Shenyi that she was still holding back. I scrolled through another dozen pages to 2 weeks earlier. Gu Shenyi had sent her a message. I am returning to the country next week. I have studied your condition again, and I have a new plan. Alright, this time, we should be able to resolve it completely. He has lost a lot of weight lately. Did you lose control again? I will hold back more. Can you manage? Barely. The phone nearly slipped from my hand. No. They were not talking about their relationship. That new plan was not about winning back an old lover. He has lost a lot of weight lately. Was talking about me. Did you lose control again? Was not some flirtatious code either. Gu Shenyi had a doctorate in medicine. He had not returned to rekindle things with Shen Buyu. He was researching Shen Buyu's body. The person he was going to meet was me. A doctor was meeting a patient's family member. Or rather, the victim. I had put the phone back where it belonged and sat alone in the living room. Barely. She had been holding back for all 8 years, 3 or 4 times every day, and that was after she had barely kept herself under control. When she did not hold back, would I even have 110 pounds left? 99 pounds? Or should I just be measured in ashes? The moment that thought occurred to me, I rushed back to the bedroom. Suitcase, passport, wallet. I was leaving tonight. Before she woke up, I would take the earliest flight to the Maldives. I had just shoved my passport into the suitcase when a voice suddenly sounded behind me. Fang's you. My hand jerked. My passport fell to the floor. Shen Buyu sat on the bed, her gaze fixed on the suitcase by my feet. My passport was on the floor. My wallet was in the suitcase. My clothes were rolled into bundles, half packed inside. It did not look like I was searching for a charger in the middle of the night. What are you doing? Looking for a charger. The charger is by the bed. I kicked the suitcase farther under the bed. Found it. Just found it. Shen Buyu did not ask again. I picked up my passport and obediently climbed back into bed. She lay back down too, but did not close her eyes. She lay on her side, watching me. The moment I lay down, her hand pressed on my shoulder. You went through my phone. No. The fingerprint log alerted me. I shut my mouth. I had been caught red-handed. There was no point lying anymore. What did you see? Your chat history with Gu Shenyi. The room fell silent for a few seconds. I thought she would get angry. Instead, she slid a glass of warm water toward me. Good. I will take you to meet him this weekend. Why do I need to meet him? I was planning to tell you anyway. Tell me what. You will find out this weekend. Can you tell me now? Sleep? I wanted to press her further, but Shen Buyu glanced up at me. I knew that look. If I said one more word, I would not be sleeping tonight. One immediately lay flat. The phone was by the bed. Half the suitcase wheel still stuck out. My passport was under my pillow, digging painfully into the back of my head. I did not dare move. After the lights went out, I stared at the ceiling. Those chat messages filled my mind. A new plan. Barely. Keep holding back. Meeting Shenyi this weekend. Just earlier, I wanted to hand him over to the one she never got over. But now, he seemed more likely to be putting me on a lab table. I barely slept that night. Not because Shen Buyu would not let me sleep, but because I was afraid to. Early that weekend morning, Shen Buyu took me to the east side of town. She did not get up until 8. For someone who could leave at 5 every morning, full of energy, that counted as sleeping in. The car stopped before an office building. A sign hung above the entrance. Yuanshan Biomedical Research Institute. The moment I saw those words, my last shred of hope vanished. Shenyi was not the one she never got over. Shen Buyu had brought me in for a warranty check. In an office on the 12th floor, a man in metal-rimmed glasses was reviewing documents. When he saw us, he nodded to Shen Buyu first, then looked me over from head to toe. This is Fang's you. Yes. Weight, 123 pounds. Height, 5'10". 5'10". 123 pounds. Shen Buyu. You call this holding back? I did hold back. I had seen those words in the chat history last night. Hearing them from his mouth now made my legs go even weaker. Could you explain something to the victim first? What exactly are you two researching? Shenyi handed me a test report. Shen Buyu has a rare hypermetabolic condition. Her cellular metabolism is 7 to 8 times faster than an average person's. She only needs 2 hours of sleep a day. The rest of that energy has to be expended somehow. If it builds up for too long, her body will break down first. I understood. Shen Buyu was a fully charged battery, and I was the charging cable she had used for 8 years. Its casing nearly split apart, so for 8 years, she had relied on me to balance her energy. Right. What about me? Shenyi looked over my data again. At this rate, you will not make it to 50. I was 28, which meant if I stayed with Shen Buyu, my life had already begun counting down. 22 years sounded like a long time, but my parents were not even old enough to need care yet, and I already had to plan my own funeral. I turned to look at her. Shen Buyu did not look away. Her hands rested on her knees. Her right index finger kept pressing against her left knuckles. You knew all along. I knew. Then you brought Shenyi back too. I have been looking for him for 8 years. Shen Buyu turned the report to its final page. From our first year together, I was searching for a treatment. Last month, Shenyi said the medication was ready, so I recruited him back from overseas. I lowered my eyes to the data on the report, so that message saying, "Welcome back," was not because she was waiting for the one she never got over. She had been waiting for the medicine. From our first year together, she had been searching. For however long Dr. Gu had researched overseas, she had waited just as long. I had always thought I was only a stand-in while the one she never got over was away. But over these 8 years, the only thing she had truly been waiting for was a treatment plan. What is the new plan? Shenyi took out a sealed vial. It suppresses the hypermetabolic response. Once the medicine takes full effect, her metabolic rate will drop to a normal range. I sat bolt upright. So you mean she will become a normal person? Yes. Then what are we waiting for? Use it now. We can, but before the medicine fully takes effect, there will be a transition period of 40 days to 2 months. Shenyi adjusted his glasses. During that period, the energy she needs to expend will temporarily increase. By how much? Roughly 2 to 3 times the current amount. Holding the chair for support, I slowly sank to the floor. It was 3 or 4 times a day now. Multiply that by 2 or 3. That is at least 6 times a day. And up to 12. After counting it out on my fingers, I decided Shenyi had not returned to cure anyone. He had returned to arrange my funeral. This was not treatment. They were trying to send me to an early grave. Fang's you. Shen Buyu crouched before me. I immediately scooted back. Do not come closer. Let me calculate how many days I have left first. Shenyi adjusted his glasses. I will provide supplements, recovery injections, and a monitoring plan. If that support plan works, why does it have to be me? I pointed at him. You are the expert. You do it. Sorry. Shenyi stepped back half a pace. I am a researcher, not a test subject. You cannot take it, so I have to. Your body has been compatible with hers for 8 years. With someone else, they could be hospitalized in the first month. How am I any different from being hospitalized now? At least you could still walk in here on your own. I looked down at my legs, which were still trembling. That was a pretty heartless thing to say. Shen Buyu spoke quietly. Fang's you. I know I have wronged you these past 8 years. Then let me go. She did not answer. It is not that she insists on keeping you. It is that no one but you could realistically survive the transition period. Are you treating her or killing me? Treating her and protecting you. Shenyi tapped the plan on the table. During the transition, I will arrange supplements and a recovery plan for you. You had better keep your word. Shenyi pushed the support plan toward me. As long as you make it through the transition, she will be completely normal afterward. The success rate is over 95%. What about the other 5%? Hospitalization will be needed for recovery. That did not reassure me at all. I pushed myself up using the table. I do not agree. Buyu was silent for a moment. Her fingertips brushed the back of my hand. Her hand was scorching hot, yet her fingers were trembling. You can leave. I looked at her. If you want to go, I will not stop you. The door was behind me. I could leave here, go home, and take my passport. Tonight, I could be staying in a hotel in the Maldives. Buyu had spent 8 years searching for Shenyi. The medicine was already on the table. All that remained were these 40-odd days. I stared at the vial for several seconds, then sat back down. How long? 40 days to 2 months. And a recovery plan? Yes, over 95%. Over. Once we get through it, she will be completely normal. Yes, fine. Buyu stopped pressing her fingers together. But I have conditions. Name them. First, once the transition ends, you owe me a month off. I will do nothing but sleep. All right. Second, all the housework that month is yours. All right. Third, you are never allowed to eat fish again. Buyu stared at me for 3 seconds, and her lips twitched. All right. Shenyi lowered his head to note it down, muttering, so the energy drain is greatest when she eats fish. Shut up. After leaving the research institute, Buyu walked a little slower than usual. I pulled my coat tighter when she suddenly asked, when you packed that day, were you planning to run? No, I was looking for a charger. You still thought Shenyi was the one who got away. I said nothing. So that is why you were so happy those days. Mostly, I was just exhausted. Buyu opened the car door and looked at me again. What if he really were the one who got away and came back to confess to me? I would take you to his front door, then get on my knees and bow to him 3 times and thank him for saving my life. The transition begins tonight. I hurriedly opened the passenger door. Wait, Shenyi has not even given me the medicine yet. Tonight, I was joking just now. She stepped on the gas. I quickly buckled my seatbelt. That thing I said about bowing to him was wrong. Completely wrong. When we got home, Buyu locked the door first. Then she drew the curtains and turned off her phone. The last thing I saw was the bedroom chandelier swaying wildly. When I opened my eyes again, light was streaming through the curtains. I found my phone and checked it. Monday, 2 in the afternoon. I had vanished for a full day and a half. Every muscle in my body ached. My throat was dry as sandpaper. There was warm water, calcium tablets, and protein powder beside the bed. And a note. You took today's off work. There is porridge in the fridge. Remember to take your calcium tablets. At the bottom were 3 more words. I am sorry. Buyu rarely apologized. This time, before I could say anything, she had left those words by my bed. I pressed the note to my chest and lay there for half a day. Then I reached for the protein powder. I had chosen this path myself. 40-odd days. Get through them, and I could finally sleep through the night. The transition period officially began. Shenyi had been right. Buyu's needs really did increase, but he had said it to 3 times. I thought he had been far too conservative. It was at least 5 times as much. In the first week, I lost another 4.5 pounds. By the second week, my ears began to ring. By the third week, I had to hold the wall just to walk from the bedroom to the living room. In the first week, I could still heat porridge in the kitchen myself. In the second week, whenever my phone rang, my ears would shriek along with it. By the third week, when I reached the living room, I had to lean against the wall and recover first, before I had the strength to sit down. I took extended leave from work. After hearing my voice, my boss was silent for several seconds. Fang's you. If you really are seriously ill, the company will help however it can. Thank you, boss. I just need to recuperate. Your salary will continue. Focus on getting better. Shenyi's support plan really worked. Supplements, nutrient drinks, and a kind of recovery injection. Without them, I would have been hospitalized in the first week. With them, I could barely get out of bed on my own. I unscrewed a bottle of nutrient drink and took 1 sip. My whole face nearly twisted up. What is this flavor? It tastes a little bad, but it absorbs fastest. A little. Spoiled soy milk would go down easier than this. Pinching my nose, I chugged the remaining half bottle. Drink it. I love it. Yangjian messaged me every day too. At first, it was, Brother Fang, are you still alive? Later it became, send an emoji to prove it is really you. Eventually, there was only one message. If you have been kidnapped, reply with a period. Every day, I replied with a period. At least it proved I still had fingers. No matter how late Buyu finished, she would cook me a pot of porridge. Warm water and calcium tablets were always by my bed too. Afterward, she would hand me water first. Once I swallowed the calcium tablets, she would go start cooking. That clay pot, once barely used, did not leave the stove for over 40 days. Does it hurt? Yes. Do you want water? Yes. Shall we stop for today? All right. Sometimes she could stop. Sometimes she could not. She could stop only about 30% of the time. The other 70%, I could only rely on nutrient drinks and recovery injections to get me back on my feet. Sometimes, when she truly could not bear it, she would go alone to the balcony and stand in the cold wind. The late autumn wind was chilly. Even after standing there for over 10 minutes, her temperature would not go down. One midnight, I woke thirsty and found no one beside me. A steady thudding came from the balcony. I pushed open the door. Shenyi was doing push-ups on a yoga mat. She had already done 200. Why are you up? I was thirsty. What are you doing? Burning off some energy. With push-ups? Better than nothing. She stood and wiped the sweat from her forehead, but her hand was still shaking. I opened the balcony door wider. It is cold out. Come inside. Just a little longer. I did not argue. Holding the door frame, I went back to the bedroom. Before closing the door, I looked toward the balcony once more. Shenyi was still standing in the wind. The sweat on her brow had not dried, and her fingers had not stopped trembling. Day 43. I drew a large red circle on the calendar. Over those 43 days, I had lost 12 pounds. I was 5 feet, 10 inches, and weighed just 111 pounds. In a strong wind, I would have to cling to a utility pole to walk. Fortunately, in recent days, Shenyi's needs had noticeably declined. A few days earlier, it had still been several times a day. Then it became once a day. Later, she only poured me water at night and did nothing else. Yesterday was even more unbelievable. She turned off the lights at 10. I waited under the covers for half an hour, but there was not a sound beside me. I pinched my thigh. It hurt. I was not dreaming. Last night, she did not wake me once. When I opened my eyes on my own at 7:30 that morning, I almost thought my phone was broken. I threw back the covers and got out of bed. My legs did not even buckle. In the living room, Shenyi was already dressed. She held the car keys. Let us go. Where? For a follow-up. I tore off the page for day 43. I folded it and slipped it into my pocket. 43 days ago, Shenyi had said the success rate was over 95%. Had that remaining 5% fallen on me? We would know after the examination. On the way to the research institute, Shenyi drove. I sat in the passenger seat, the same seat as 43 days ago. But now I had a torn calendar page in my pocket. At the research institute, Shenyi gave Shenyi a full examination, blood tests, scans, and a pile of machines I could not name. Finally, he sat before the computer for a long time. I stood beside him, my palm slick with sweat. Shenyi was quieter than I was, but she kept folding and unfolding the test report. Its corners were nearly crushed. Shenyi removed his glasses and finally said, "It worked." For a moment, I did not understand. What worked? The medication has taken full effect. Her metabolic rate has returned to normal. Will it come back? No. Her body has adapted to its new metabolic pattern. From now on, Shenyi is no different from anyone else. Shenyi's shoulders relaxed, yet she still gripped the test report. I clenched my fists. My palms were marked with fresh crescents from my nails. I stood up. My legs were still weak, but this time, I stayed standing. Bracing myself on the table, I pulled out my phone. In my contacts, the pharmacy and Shenyi were at the top of my recent contacts. First, I messaged my boss. I can return to work next week. The moment I sent it, the words on screen blurred. I touched my face and realized I was crying. 8 years and another 43 days. At last, every night before bed, I no longer had to look at the wheelchair by the bedroom door. Shenyi handed me a tissue. You can sleep normally from now on. Sleep through the night. Yes, she will not wake me in the middle of the night. She will not. I wiped my face clumsily and turned to Shenyi. She was still clutching the crumpled test report. Only when she saw me looking did she let it go. Her eyes were slightly red. She hid it better than I did. At least she had not cried in front of Shenyi. It is over. I showed her my phone. Back to work next week. Shenyi nodded. I will drive you. I walked over to her. Then I went through our terms, one by one. You owe me a month-long vacation. Fine. Cooking, dishes, mopping, laundry. They are all your job. Fine. You cannot wake me in the middle of the night for 1 month. Shenyi paused. Fine. And one more thing. She looked up at me. You are not allowed to eat fish again. She finally smiled. Fine. No more fish. Shenyi turned his chair away, pretending he had heard nothing. As we left the research institute, the wind hit us head-on. I instinctively wrapped my coat tighter, but Shenyi put the car keys back in her pocket. Then she took my hand. Her palm was no longer frighteningly hot. Shenyi had just measured it, 97.7 degrees, just like anyone else's. The wind was strong. This time, she held my hand and slowed her pace. I remembered what I had said before. Buyu. For my month-long vacation, I want to go to the Maldives. The tickets are booked. When did you book them? The day treatment began. I looked at her. What if it had not worked? Then we would keep looking for a solution until we found one that worked. I took the keys from her pocket. I will drive home. Shen glanced at my hand. She left the keys with me. On the way to the parking lot, I remembered something else. You are paying for the Maldives? I am. We are staying at the best hotel. With no strings attached. Shen glanced at me. I will try. I stopped short. What do you mean? You will try. Did you not just promise not to touch me for a month? Come on. Shen got straight into the passenger seat. Clutching the keys, I chased after her. Explain what you mean by try. The next day, I posted on social media. The photo showed the tickets to the Maldives. The caption was simply, I survived. Yang Jian was the first to comment, Brother Fang, you finally said something. I almost called you an ambulance. My mom commented right after, a trip will do you good. Eat more and come back 22 pounds heavier. A coworker asked if I wanted help stocking up on supplements. I photographed the 2 bags of ginseng and sea cucumber in the living room, along with the nutrition powder, and sent it to him. If I cannot finish all this, my home could open its own pharmacy. Shen packed beside me. Shenyi sent another message. All transition period tests have been passed. Keep taking the remaining nutrient drinks. First, regain the weight. Also, after 8 years of strain, your cardiovascular and core endurance, combined with 43 days of recovery training, now far exceed the average person's. I stared at the screen. What does that mean? Simply put, you have been trained. So I didn't suffer through those 8 years for nothing? In a sense, yes. Once you regain the weight, your body may be healthier than it was 8 years ago. I sent back 3 question marks. Shenyi replied with a smiling emoji. Congratulations. Your unconventional training has strengthened your body. I stared at that sentence for a long time. Other people train at the gym. I was trained by Shen for 8 years. What does that make it? Do the good and bad cancel out? No chance. The bad far outweighs the good. I set my phone face down on the couch. Shen walked over with the packed suitcase. All set? Let us go. I rose from the couch.